So we are live. So we got Tommy Starr with us today, which is very great to have him on the live stream with us. I see that we've got one person in the room. Let's see if we see anybody else before we get started. I'm sure some people will be joining us here shortly. So how you been doing, Tommy?
Real good.
Good.
Collecting movies, watching movies,
Yeah. We got J Movies and Media with us. He gives us a thumbs up.
How's it going, guys?
So have you been watching anything interesting lately?
Well, mostly just Christmas. I did just watch Christmas Chronicles 2 on Netflix.
Yeah.
Saw the first one last year and I really enjoyed it. I love Kurt Russell's performance as Santa Claus. Have you seen him yet?
No, I haven't seen him yet. Now, I wanted to see the one last year, but I never got around to seeing it. But maybe this year I'll get to see it. So before we really get started, I see Cartoon Fortress is in the room. How is the audio and video look, everybody? Just leave a comment. Let us know how the audio is. So yeah, I wanted to see Christmas Chronicles last year. Never got around to seeing it. Then I saw that they were doing the sequel.
Yeah.
I read some people's comments on some of those things, and they weren't too fond of the sequel. Maybe the original was much better. I don't know. What did you think about the sequel?
The sequel was okay. It definitely a different type of story than the first one, but there are a lot to the list every year, and I was saying, what I like most about it is just Kurt Russell's portrayal of Santa Claus more than anything. He's really different and just more like a regular person. He's got attitude and stuff like that, and he's like really skinny. Like they didn't make him fat for the part or anything. But yeah, they're good movies. Goldie Hawn plays Mrs. Claus and everything, which is cool. But
yeah, she's probably just glad to be working.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've been watching a few Christmas movies. I watched Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Now, have you ever seen this one before?
I have not. I've heard of it. I just never seen that. I saw your post. I think you put that up on. I've definitely been wanting to get that. After seeing your post, I decided I'm like I should go try to order this real quick so I can watch it before Christmas.
Right. Yeah, and it's Jim Henson project, so it's very well done. It's just it came out in the 70s when I was young.
Sure.
So, it may not appeal to everybody.
Hey, I mean, I love Muppets Christmas Carol. I love that old stuff. I think one of my all-time favorite Christmas cartoons, has got to be like the Peanuts Christmas and Mickey's Christmas Carol, and those are older, and I've been watching them. I was a little kid every year, so.
Yeah. So J Movies and Media was asking if I made the Christmas tree that's behind me, which I did not. That is store-bought.
That's great.
I didn't make, I've been doing, in the past, I've been making Christmas trees for our church missions.
Oh, okay.
And selling them, make money for missions. But I didn't do it this year because of COVID. And, I didn't think people would really be wanting too many handmade items this year.
Originally, we were going to have Christmas, our family Christmas at our house this year. We were going to host it. And things changed, and now my brother's doing it. But originally, when we were going to have it here, my wife wanted to actually, since we got the pool table down here and everything, we wanted to actually have the party downstairs. And then we were going to actually put together like a horror-themed Christmas tree. We were going to go all out, do like a white tree with like blood splatter, and then get like horror ornaments and all that stuff. But now we're not doing it because we're not having Christmas there this year. But it sounded like a cool idea.
Yeah. Cartoon Fortress was admiring your Screen Factory setup behind you.
There it is.
Now, have you ever thought about doing any kind of room tour? I don't think I've ever seen a room tour on your channel.
Yeah, the last one I did was a long, long time ago, and I've done so many changes down here, and I've been meaning to do something for the longest time. But what happened is last year we're actually gonna be moving. So I started like packing things. And then when we decided not to move, give it one more year in this house, then I slowly kind of started putting everything back and rearranging. But I still have not gotten everything down here the way I want it to be able to do the room tour. So hopefully we'll be moved out in the next month or two, and then I'll have a new room, and then that's probably when I'm going to do it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff down here.
So another Christmas movie that I watched this week was Silent Night. Now, have you seen this one before?
Yeah, it's obviously it's supposed to be a remake, you know.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's anywhere near as good as the original, but I think what I like most about that one is it's just got great kills and stuff in it.
Yeah.
But overall, I have fun with it. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I do.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I've never actually gotten around to seeing the original.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So maybe I'll get to do that this Christmas.
You have it, right?
Oh, I have it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a great Christmas classic, horror classic. You know, I don't know, you know, the second one's pretty good too, but I swear half of the second movie is just like clips of the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of go through all that, but the first one is great. I highly recommend that one.
Good. Now, Trey Needham wants to know what we think about Astro Boy. I'm not familiar with Astro Boy. Are you familiar with Astro Boy?
A little bit, never seen it.
I can see the image of the character in my head, but that's about it. And we've got someone saying how good your room looks. So yeah, we definitely going to need a room tour eventually.
Yeah, I definitely want to do it soon. You know, maybe if I don't do the entire man cave, but you know, I could always do just certain portions of the room, like certain collections, like the NECA stuff or the pop stuff, things. But yeah, I'm downstairs, like movie wise, I just pretty much had my horror movies down here, and then my like DC Marvel stuff over on the other side, but then everything else is upstairs. But I wanted to do this down here tonight because, you know, my kids are upstairs and you know, running around. My 2-year-old would be screaming in the background. Nobody would hear anything.
Yeah. That's who I usually see in your videos, is the little one wanting to get up in your lap.
The funniest thing in the world is just, it's hilarious, but it's really cool at the same time, is that, you know, obviously I work from home, and all day my son, you know, my parents watch my son while me and my wife are working. And my son is out in the living room watching YouTube of nothing but my videos. Like all he's doing is watching my videos. And, you know, he'll just tell, you know, Dad, he wants to see Dad on TV. And then, of course, it's not just me that he wants to see. He wants to see all the videos that he's in.
Right.
He likes watching himself on TV. It's hilarious. All day I hear nothing but my intro to my videos in the background.
Yeah. Now, both of my boys, they're in their late 20s, so they could care less about me being on YouTube. My wife, I keep telling my wife she needs to get on YouTube with me sometime, just so she has no interest. No.
Yeah, my wife really doesn't either. Every once in a while she pops in, but she doesn't like it. I got to talk her into it.
So, someone has a request to do the top Raimi movies. I don't usually do too many ranking videos. I don't know. Do you ever do any kind of ranking videos?
I used to when I first, not when I first started my channel, but when I first started the like movie horror part of my channel, when that got really big, I did a lot of top 10s, like, you know, counting down my top favorite movies, top favorite horror movies, you know, like a lot of top 10 videos. And then I started doing like top 10 movies that need a Blu-ray release and things like that. But I haven't done one of those in a really long time.
Yeah, I know people really like the top 10 stuff.
I've always wanted to get more into doing top 10s and like top 10 reviews and like movie franchise reviews, but hopefully at one point I'll get into it. But I never felt like I was really good at that stuff. Like giving, it was never really something I don't know, made it worth people to watch, you know, like when you compare to all these other YouTubers that are just amazing at it.
Oh, right.
just feel like I'd be like stuttering and not knowing what to say. But
Yeah, that's what I'd be doing. Now, do you have Disney Plus, and have you been watching The Mandalorian?
you know, as big of a Star Wars fan as I am,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have watched it by now. But I don't have Disney Plus, but my wife has been bugging me about getting it like every single day. She wants it really, really bad. So we're probably going to end up getting it mainly for Mandalorian because I have to
Mm-hmm.
see. But have you seen any of Mandalorian?
Yeah, I just finished season 2 this morning. It's a really good show. Of course, we
It's
don't want to give out any spoilers on this
right
channel, but it's just a really fun show.
now. It's a
Um,
thing, right.
do what now?
It's a prequel thing, right? Like something 7 years ago for Star
It
Wars.
actually happens after Return of the Jedi.
Oh, so it's kind of in between.
I think most people say it's about 5-10 years after Return of the Jedi.
Gotcha. Okay, I thought it was like way before anything.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. That's interesting to know.
So we have Tom Cruise in the room. Hopefully, Tom Cruise won't lose his cool and chew us all out for not having our mask on. But you never
Tom,
know.
yeah, Tom Cruise taking time out of his busy day to join us. This is great.
Yeah. Let's see here. Top of the evening, he says. Yeah,
Hey,
Tom Cruise is a good friend. He hasn't been to any of these live streams that I started back up, but he was pretty much a regular. So it's good to have him with us.
right on. Welcome. Thanks for joining up with us here.
So let's see. 4K Media Guy. I'm late to collecting Screen Factory titles and noticed that they're starting to release 4Ks. How many titles do you believe they will release, and what are your top picks to get one? So what would be your top picks for a 4K release for Screen Factory?
For Screen Factory, I would have to say, I mean, I would probably have to pick my top 10 Blu-ray collector editions that they have right now. So I would say Silent Night, Deadly Night, Misery would be a top one for me. Love to see Misery on 4K. But yeah, as far as what they got right now, yeah, I think they haven't released any yet. They have They Live coming out, Prince of Darkness coming out, and they've announced Army of Darkness, but they don't have an actual date yet on that. But what I heard is that Army of Darkness is actually going to be their first real 4K where they're actually doing the scan themselves and actually creating. They Live and Prince of Darkness are more or less just like represses or whatever you want to, however you want to say that. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the 4K game, and I think they have a lot up their sleeve. They've been behind a little bit, but they just recently made an announcement that they're going to start announcing big stuff coming this summer. Once all the stuff starts going away and everything. So I'm looking forward to a lot of 4K releases coming.
Yeah, no, I just recently, as of yesterday, watched The Prince of Darkness for the first time. Really good movie. I watched They Live for the first time last month. So I got the 4K releases from Studio Canal, the Steelbooks from the UK. So I've been watching those.
How do those look?
Oh, they look really, really good. Yeah.
I got a Studio Canal 4Ks. Like I picked up their Bill and Ted Steelbook from Zabby.
Yeah.
They have pretty decent transfers on those. But speaking of They Live, a couple of years ago, I started watching all my Screen Factories from the beginning, and They Live was a first time watch for me. And I think that one really stands out as one of my favorite first time watches. Oh, I loved the movie. It is just so cool in so many ways.
Yeah, I also watched The Fog for the first time 2 months ago.
Anything Carpenter makes is great, man.
Yeah.
Just love his stuff. Prince of Darkness was good too. I was a little bit disappointed with the ending. I was expecting something a little bit different, a little bit bigger to happen at the ending. Yeah. But overall, great stuff.
Yep. So JS is saying that we're going to infect our slips with the coronavirus, but what JS doesn't know is we pretty much keep our slips in these plastic bags, don't we?
Same thing as masks,
Yeah.
You got to protect them with plastic bags,
Yeah.
And I'm going to give a really good example really quick on one of the most important reasons why you should, as a collector, why you should put those bags on everything is, I mean, I'm sure most people don't keep their stuff down in a unfinished basement like I do, but one of my shelves in the corner, a pipe leaked down here last year, and it hit my DC Marvel movies, and every one of them were completely fine because I had on them.
Yep.
So I replaced all the bags, and they were in perfect condition.
Yeah, that's always a fear of mine, because right through that door back here, I can't point. The water heater sits behind that door.
Oh no.
And so I'm always worried that it's going to bust or break or do whatever they do, and then all my stuff will get just soaked.
Well, do you, like the bottom of it, all your shelves and everything? Like if it leaks all over the floor, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I kind of got like a little dam built back there in case it does ever leak, that it'll go away from my area.
Good plan.
But, yep, we have to plan ahead, don't we?
Oh yeah. Yeah, as collectors, you always think about that stuff, you know.
So now Tom Cruise is talking about the 4Ks. Now he mentioned Oblivion. Would you believe I watched Oblivion for the first time this morning?
No way.
Yep, I did. I had never seen it before, but I got this from Zavvi. Beautiful. So I had no idea what Oblivion was even going to be about. So it was amazing. I really enjoyed it.
Never seen it.
Never seen it?
Nope.
Yeah, you definitely need to check that out. Another one I watched for the very first, well, I say for the first time. I have not seen this movie since it was released in the theater way back when, and I watched this for the first time as an adult today. It was excellent. Just the fact that all the special effects back in the time that they made that movie was just amazing for what they did. I mean, it looks kind of cheesy for us now because we're so spoiled with all the special effects, but it was amazing back then, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the nostalgia of this stuff, you know. That's what I love, you know. It's cheesy, and that's what makes it so good, you know. And I think back in the day, you know, especially the majority of the practical effects, in my opinion, a lot of the times I like it just better than some of these, you know, new age CGI special effects. You know, it's just more practical, and I respect it more. There's a lot more work that goes into it, you know, from a physical standpoint, you know.
Right.
But yeah, Total Recall, one of those movies I grew up with, watched 1,000 times. So happy it came to 4K.
Yeah, me too. So, you know, I work for the school district where I live, so we are off for the next 2 weeks. So I kind of got a jump start today on shows that I was going to watch during the holidays.
Yep.
So I got like a big old stack of things I need to watch. Now, do you have anything that you got stacked up that you're waiting to check out?
You know, I think I've always told myself that obviously there's a million movies I'm behind on watching as far as new stuff, but I always tell myself that the next time I have like a long break, like I have the first week of January I have off. I usually have that off every year. And I told myself that the next time I have like a long break from work, I'm going to spend a lot of time in watching series rather than movies, you know, because there's so many series out there that I wanted to watch, especially from the DC Marvel stuff, you know, that I haven't seen.
Right.
And I really want to focus on that. But as far as movies go, you know, obviously I'm watching nothing but Christmas right now, but first of the year, yeah, I have a huge stack of stuff I need to get on. Like I would say the majority of the new releases that have come out in the last couple of weeks, just like new movies, new releases. I know there's not really a lot, but most of the horror stuff I picked up, I really got to get on that stuff. I've been so busy lately, I haven't had time to watch anything.
Yeah, because I watched your haul video today that you did yesterday, I believe.
Yep.
And I think you got The Dark and the Wicked. Did you pick The Dark and the Wicked up?
No, I didn't get that one.
You didn't get that one. You got the what's the name of that streaming service?
Shudder.
Shudder. You got that Shudder release though, didn't you?
Yeah, the Beach House.
Yeah.
Yep, I picked that one up. I was so upset it didn't come with a slipcover.
I know it, and it does not come with a slip. It's yeah.
It sucks because like with Shudder, well, pretty much everything for that matter, but with Shudder, it's like I would say 80% of their stuff comes with slips, but then there's a few that don't, which just I hate it because I like keeping stuff together, and then when they're together and you got a bunch of slips and then a few non-slips. It's irritating.
It
But
is.
yeah, I would say one that sticks out that looks pretty cool that I just got in that video is The Call. That one looks pretty cool. It's got Lin Shaye and
Yeah, I
Tobin.
saw that. I mean, I saw your haul of that, and I watched the trailer for it. It looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I mean, probably nothing spectacular, but looks like fun. I like Tobin Bell. I really liked him in the Saw movies, so it'd be cool to see him in something different.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're like I am. Whenever I go before I purchase something, I always go to Blu-ray.com. I watch the trailer for it, and then I also look at the comments that people are making on it. And it seems like for the majority, people pretty much crap on anything on Blu-ray.com. They don't give
Yeah,
you a good, honest opinion. So it's
I
really hard to figure out if it's going to be good or not. Most times I think I like what they crap on.
I I'm always the exact opposite because I'm so easy to please when it comes to movies. I don't have high expectations on things. I just like to watch stuff and have a good time, and
Yeah,
so I
me too.
get from the comments.
Yeah, you watch it, and if you don't like it, you just sell it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So J Movies and Media only does not buy the individual bags. He bundles his in the big bags. Now, Tommy, you said you're going to be moving pretty soon.
Yeah, probably first of the year.
Okay.
First,
So is it kind of intimidating thinking that you're going to have to box all that stuff up?
it, man. Oh my God. I obviously when I moved here 5 years ago, I had to pack all my stuff up. And at that time, no lie, it was probably maybe a quarter of what it is now. So it is
Mm.
going to be a pain to do that. I'm not looking forward to it at all.
Yeah, we've been here for 20 years in this house. Um, and I didn't have any of this stuff prior to moving in. So I just told my wife I'm gonna have to just die here because there's no way I'm ever gonna move
Never
all
move.
this stuff because I got all those Funko Pops. I want to say thousands of Funko Pops behind this wall in storage crates, and there's no way I'm ever gonna move that stuff.
Funko Pops, man. When the craze started, I stayed away from it for the longest time, and I just kind of stuck to horror, and that's it. And then once I started buying, the itch hit me, and I just started buying them like crazy, and now I have so many, and I just want to get rid of them.
Mhm.
I'll keep the horror, but I just want to get rid of them. They take up so much room, and oh
Yeah.
God.
Oh man, they're hard to get rid of. You pretty much have to give them away. I mean, pretty much you have to give them away. People do not want to buy them. I sold all the ones that were actually worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
But anything after that, nothing.
See, I'm not even gonna. If when the time comes, I'm not even gonna try to sell them online or anything. I think I might, unless I have some with decent value. But
Hmm.
other than that, I'm just gonna take the majority of them and just bring them to a half price books or something and just see what I can
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
unload them.
So Trey Needham is asking if we think Lion King is ripped off of Kimba the White Lion. I'm not very familiar with Kimba the White Lion. Are you?
I have to say I've never heard of it.
Yeah, me either. Now, somebody's asking if we plan on doing more of these live chats in the future. I'm always up for chatting with other people. Um, so when I started doing the live streams back in earlier in March of this year, I was doing it all solo, which I did them all solo up until last week where I actually had Cartoon Fortress on, which I thought we did a great job. And
Oh yeah, that was fun.
yeah, I think I just like interacting with a lot of different people. So hopefully as many people that wants to go live with me, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's fun to do. Obviously, I've never done this before, but it's fun because then you get to not only chat with your subscribers, but you also get to chat with fellow blue tubers that
Right.
Chris as you. So it makes it really really fun to do.
Yep. So here's one for you. It says, "What's your stance on getting rid of stuff you don't like when it comes to Shout and Arrow, etc.?"
Boy, that is a topic that I swear it just it's just a headache to even think about because I talk to my buddy Craig about this all the time. I always have to mention Craig,
Right.
but I talk to him about this all the time. Like with me, it's when it comes to movies anyway. I like, it seems like I'll be the first to admit it. It seems like I'm more stuck on quantity than quality, you know? Like I just like to have like full franchises and, you know, all the different editions of things. And, you know, it's just what makes me happy, but I know it's spendy, takes up a lot of room and things like that. So, I mean, I can see myself at some point in the future, uh, you know, like slimming the collection down and focusing more on just what I really like to watch and what I really like to collect. Cause, you know, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, honestly, probably half my collection I could get rid of with the snap of a finger.
Mm.
And you know, just get rid of it because I'll never watch it in my life, you know, but
Right.
just so focused on that quantity thing right now. It's just, it's hard to get away from.
Yeah. Now, do you so I know that you're a big slipcover fanatic like I am.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever just buy garbage movies just because they have such a nice looking slip?
I have. Yeah. It's
I mean,
funny.
if
Sometimes
the
I'll just,
slip, if the, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's funny because like sometimes I'll just pick up a movie, uh, just because the slipcover looks cool and I don't know anything about it.
Hmm.
And then like I'll take it home, and if I ever actually get around to watching it, it'll be like, oh my god, this is horrible. But it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, they're getting really fancy with these slip covers. They got these metallic looks about them, and
They know what they're doing.
if they
They're,
put glitter on it or some kind of holographic looking thing, you know, I'm going to buy it.
yeah, exactly right. I think as a collector, like obviously, I'll be the first to admit that I have a serious obsession with it. But like, what's funny is that it's gotten to the point now, and I don't know if you can agree with me, but I've actually like not bought movies before because they didn't have a slip. You
Mm.
know, it's just like, wow, movies are to watch, not to care about the slips. But yeah, that's what I do.
Well, now this is what I do. So when I go out on Tuesdays and start shopping for my Blu-rays, if it doesn't have a slip on it, I'm not in a big hurry to get it.
Right?
But if it has a slip, I've got to have it before they don't have slips, you know?
Yep. Great point.
So, yep, so that's what I do. So if they throw a slip on it, they can pretty much guarantee a sale.
Yeah, that's very true. Because, you know, like obviously, if you don't get it right away, you can always get it down the line. And, you know, if it doesn't have a slip, you don't have nothing to worry about. You know, it's always going to be there. But see, I made the mistake with 4K is that, you know, I didn't get into the 4K right away.
Same here.
And then down the line, when I started getting into 4K, now I'm having trouble finding all the slip covers, and I'm paying stupid prices for it because I want the slips. You know, if I would have just
Yeah.
collected at the beginning, I wouldn't have had that problem. But
Yeah, definitely. I'm one of those people that pays a lot of money for a slipcover. Because what I was doing was I was buying the 4K stuff. I was just buying the Steelbooks
you know,
because I already had the Blu-ray with the slipcover on it. And then now I'm thinking, no, I got to have the slip. So
yep.
I'm paying $40 for a $14 movie now.
Yeah, I know. Like I say one of the worst ones is I have paid, like, I feel stupid even saying this, but I would say the most I ever paid would be I paid $83 for a slip one time.
Just for the slip?
Just for the slip. That's how crazy. And I haven't done that a lot, but there was a slip I had to have. It was the Comic-Con exclusive slipcover for the movie Commando. And I just had to have it. We all know that the movie Commando you could probably find for like $3, you know, but here I am paying $83 for a slip. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know why I
So
did.
so I'm sure you have some regrets. Like I actually had 2 different years of all the Comic-Con slips for certain movies. Um,
Uh-huh.
twice. I had one year's and I had the next year's. And I was stupid. I
Wow.
sold all of them. I guess I
Did
was
you?
desperate for money for that at that time, but I regret it. I always
Yeah,
regret
those
it. That's why I don't get rid of anything.
right. Yeah. So that's the other thing too. I worry about like if I start selling things like the pops or my movies or something, it's like I feel like I'm just gonna regret it and I'm gonna just
Yeah.
beat myself for it, you know?
So, Movie Collector Geek wants to know if we're excited about Scream 5. I definitely am excited for Scream 5. I know that you're a big Scream fan. I know you got your um, Ghostface package yesterday.
Yep.
So I know you're excited about it.
Oh, thrilled. I just hate that, like, even though the movie's basically done now, it's like, why are we waiting
Yeah.
till January of 2022 to get this movie, And you think it would have been better marketing to release it in 2021, because that would be the 25th anniversary from when the first movie came out. But yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. I mean, very, very skeptical, because it's the first one that's not going to be directed by Wes Craven, but a lot of the actors and people involved are, saying that they think Wes Craven would be proud of it. I heard that they're really taking a different type of direction with it. And we don't get Kevin Williamson as a writer, which he wrote the first three. But I guess he's like, he's part of it, but I don't think he actually did the full screenplay for it. I think somebody else did. But I'm excited. I'm really pumped. I mean, I don't know what to expect with this. I mean, my first theory would be one of the three have to die in this one. Like, like the remaining three that always survive. I mean, one of them have to die this time around. I mean, it's just, it happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking we'll probably get some 4K releases of Scream, don't you think, before this comes out?
I would think so, yeah.
Because I think they really need to introduce more people to the whole franchise. I know
and
a
that would
lot
be,
of us our age.
yep,
Yeah.
to make it new again, with 4K.
They did the MTV TV show. Did you watch any of that?
I got all three from Stinky Tuna.
Mm.
I started the first one and I made it through just a couple episodes. I haven't really been a big fan of it so far.
Yeah.
I more or less just want it for the collection. I will get around to watching all of them eventually, but yeah, not a big fan so far. Just,
yeah, I think I got through 3 episodes and that was pretty much it.
yeah, it seems like, in my opinion, like a bad sequel to Scream. That's
Right.
like,
So 4K Media guy saying that slipcovers are steelbooks. They feel that slipcovers have better art than steelbooks. So another good marketing strategy for me is if they have different artwork on the steelbook compared to the slipcover, then I'm going to buy both.
yep.
If the steelbook has the same as the slip, then I usually get the steelbook and hold off on the slipcover edition. But most of the times I just buy both of them.
I do too. The only time I won't buy a steelbook edition is if I'm not like really super crazy about the movie or I haven't seen it before. Like, for example, Tenet. I just picked up Tenet. Don't really know a lot about it, and so I'm like, all right, I'll just get the 4K. I don't need to get the steelbook for something like this. But if it's an all-time favorite movie of mine, I'll do it. But like you mentioned, like I watched your video of that one particular week where we got a lot of steelbooks like Grease and all that. You notice how like what was it? Grease was like pretty much the same as the
4K slip.
Like I don't like when they do that, but at least you get some different, like, obviously you get inside art that's different. The back is usually different, so it's not always so bad.
Yeah. Well, the reason I mostly buy the steelbooks is that's kind of what my main focus on the channel is doing the unboxings.
Yep.
So I always get the steelbooks, but good and well that those steelbooks go on sale pretty much 2-3 weeks after they release them.
Yeah.
So every Sunday I go through and check off the sale prices, and then I'm on the phone with Best Buy all the time trying to get my price adjustments.
Hey, it's smart. It takes
$15, $10, $5.
That stuff adds up. I mean, we all know it's already, being a collector like us, it's spendy. And anytime you can get money back, like whether it's doing that or, selling codes or, whatever it takes to get a little bit of money back, hey, every little bit helps,
Yeah. So 4K Media guy saying Starship Troopers 4K slipcover is expensive. Now, do you have that one? I don't have it either.
For probably since I really got into 4Ks earlier in the year, that's one on the list. Like I'm probably only down to maybe like 2 or 3 4Ks left that I want to buy with slipcover, and that's one of them. And I I can't find it less than like $60.
Yeah. Now I used to see it all the time at Best Buy,
Oh,
over week and week and week and week. I never got it.
me
You
neither.
know, that's kind of why I just jump on them all right now. You know, if I see it in the store, I'm going to get it. And a lot of times, I don't know, how do you keep up with the collection that you've got? Do you have an app on your phone that you use that lets you know what you've already got in your collection, or do you end up buying the same movie over and over again?
I never had that problem. Like I mean, I have a physical list of all my movies that I'm always updating. I have it saved on my computer just like on like a Word doc, and
Hmm.
I go in there and add in the new movies just so I have a master list so I know what's in my collection and things like that. And I can, if I'm missing something, I can go look and see what it is I'm missing. So I have that. But in the past, I've never had the problem of not knowing what I don't have. Like I just kept it by memory. But that was back when I had, less than 1,000 movies. But nowadays, I'm at like almost 3,000 movies. So I just sometimes, like, here's an example. Like the other day, I was out at a Half Price Books and I came across the movie Thelma and Louise on Blu-ray.
Hmm.
And I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, God, do I have that movie? Did I buy that before? I don't know. And I'm like, well, it's only like $5. So I'm like, I'll just pick it up. And thankfully I got home and I didn't have it.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
a good one.
yeah, it is. I'd never
Yeah.
found it out in the wild before. So I just snagged it. But yeah, these days I have so many movies now, it's hard to remember them all.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting a little bit behind on the chat, so let's go backwards here a little bit. Um, JS is saying that they purchased Phantasm 2 slip a couple months ago for $40. That's probably the most expensive that they've spent on a slipcover. I know I've spent 60, $70, maybe even more than that.
Well,
Um,
JS, $40 for Phantasm 2, that's actually a really good deal. And I would say when it comes to Scream Factory, especially if you're really trying to get into Scream Factory and collect them all, you're going to run into those $40, $50 slipcovers. But in my opinion, worth every penny because they're way out of print. So if you can get them for that price, go for it.
yeah, because those are the most sought. The Screen Factory slips are pretty much the most sought after
Oh, yeah.
items. Yeah. So Cartoon Fortress loves slipcovers, but it's not very as important to him as it is for us.
I
Do
get
you get the posters also?
for Scream Factory.
Yeah.
I have a few of them. I the one I've sold a lot in the past. I only really keep my all time favorite movies in the collection. I'll have a poster. I probably have maybe of them.
I paid the extra. I pay the extra by purchasing directly from Shop Factory
Yeah.
because I have to have the posters too. I've
Well,
got tons of posters, even the ones that used to come in the envelopes, the flat ones, the folded.
yep.
I got all of them. But if I ever want to, I can always sell that kind of stuff.
Right.
Let's see, 4K movie guy, media guy. I won't buy a movie unless it has a slipcover, unless I know there's no slipcover for it.
Me too.
Yep, me too.
Pretty much. Yeah, that was one example was with and I think you mentioned this in your video that you did, but the movie, the Vin Diesel movie, what was that called? Blood or
Bloodshot.
something like that.
Yeah,
Well, that originally never came with a slipcover, so I didn't buy it.
right.
Now it's got that PS5 one, which is cool. So I might
Yeah.
buy it.
And then there was the Harrison Ford Call of the Wild that didn't come with a slip, and then all of a sudden it had a slip.
What's up with like then out of the blue, I think most of the people I heard were like getting them from the Disney Movie Club with a slip.
Yeah,
And
I got me one from Disney Movie Club.
did you? Okay.
I
And
paid for it though. I mean, I had to pay extra from somebody.
right. I heard even that some people were seeing them in Walmart with slipcovers.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I couldn't find one in Walmart.
Yeah, I could.
But do you purchase Region B stuff? Do you have a Region free player?
I don't. The only Region B stuff that I have are Steelbooks. I'll collect the Region B Steelbooks just mainly to have the Steelbook because I'll always have a standard edition of the movie anyways to watch,
Right.
so because I don't even really watch my Steelbooks. it's very rare that I have a steelbook for a movie I don't have on like a regular edition, you know. So I have
Yeah.
a lot of these steelbooks. I just for the collection because I love the art.
Yeah, if I buy a steelbook, then if I don't have the movie in the collection, I buy the movie also, the Blu-ray release,
Yep. Yep.
because I have to have both. Now, 4K Media Guy was able to get the Lord of the Rings steelbooks. You know, did you pick that one up?
I
That and The
wanted
Hobbit?
that, but obviously when they were coming out, when they were new, you know, I would have had to have spent what almost $300 to get both.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I just didn't have the money to do it. And now obviously they're sold out. So God, I'm so mad because I wanted them really bad.
Well, Cinema Man, awesome, two of my favorite blue tubers on live. So
Hey,
glad to have you with us.
that's awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tony. I've been watching him for a long time. So this is actually really fun for me. This is an honor for me to be on.
It's nice to have somebody with me.
Oh, yeah.
So, Movie Collector Geek wants to know if we have a budget for buying your movies. Okay, so this is probably one of the biggest complaints I get is people always hate every single time I do a monthly, every month I do my monthly haul, what I picked up for the month. Someone's always complaining about how much money I spend. I'm thinking, I pay my mortgage, we make our car payments, we've got all of our bills paid,
Oh,
kids are grown. It's my money. I'll just spend it on whatever I want to spend it on. But
exactly.
how are you doing with your budget? Do you ever dig into your budget, your savings or anything to buy stuff?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. In the past, I definitely got in way over my head a few times, you know, and probably put myself in a few bad positions in the past. But
Yeah.
uh, you know, me and my wife, we both work for the same company. We both work for Wells Fargo, and I've been with Wells Fargo for almost 20 years now.
Mm.
Uh, at last year, her and I got a promotion. We moved up into a different position. So these days we're definitely doing a little bit better financially. But you know, I kind of like I've got to the point now, kind of like what you just mentioned, like as long as the bills are paid and you know, I don't try to dig into savings and I have the extra money. My wife says, all right, well, hey, as long as you don't dip into any of that and we're okay and we're comfortable, that she doesn't care, so yeah, I mean, these days it's not too bad. I'm definitely doing a lot better than I used to, but the thing is too, like, a lot of the times, like I mentioned, it seems like you're spending a lot. But I probably get back at least a third of that money in codes, selling codes, and because a lot of those are really big. A lot of people buy codes these days, so it's
Mhm.
not really that bad at the end of the day.
Yeah, there was a period of time where I was selling codes, but it's such a flooded market right now. It's hard to get a good price on them.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. I was going to say something. I lost my train of thought. Um, anyway, maybe it'll come back to me.
All right.
So the shelves that you have behind you, are those anything in particular that you purchased? What kind of shelves would you recommend someone that's collecting movies to buy?
Good question. Um, and I know that me and you got. I think ours are the same here, Tony.
Yeah,
Uh,
got a little bitty space in between the middle of it.
the Best Buy ones.
Yeah.
Hands down the best ones. I think personally, like being a movie collector, especially for as long as I've been, I've gone through every type of shelf you can think of, and these are by far my favorite because you got the most space with them. They look the nicest. The only thing that sucks obviously is that little section in the middle, but then again, it doesn't have to be so negative. You can just put something nice there, especially like if you open your pops, the pops will fit without the box there. So there's things you can decorate that middle section with, but overall, these are by far the best. They're, like I said, they're through Best Buy. They're not that expensive. I got them everywhere. I got them down here now. I got them upstairs. I don't have anything else but these.
Yeah, I actually last Christmas I built my shelves on this wall right there,
Yep.
and I loved it. I loved that. It gave me a lot of space, but um, the wall that I've got these other shelves on, it just wasn't feasible for me to build them on that one. So these shelves turned out really nice. I ended up buying 5 of them. So I got 5 of those shelves.
Because there's like 2 different sizes. Did you get the larger ones?
I did. I ordered the larger ones, and then I ordered. Target had a sale, and I ordered from Target. Same, everything looked the same, but it was short. It was a shorter shelf. I had to send it back.
Yeah, I got because I think there's like the smaller $80 ones, and then there's the larger $100 ones. I think that's what these are. I had the smaller ones upstairs, which was a mistake. I bought those and I put them all together, not thinking I had the small ones. And now I wish I would have got the bigger ones because now I'm already running out of room upstairs. But I don't know. Probably when I move, I'll get some bigger ones or whatever. But yeah, I really like these. You get, like I said, you get a lot of room. And what I like most about them is that the shelves are smaller, so they hang over, so you can easily right off the shelf. Because like if they're like flush with the shelf, it's hard to like reach in and pull them out. Where these just hang right over, so that it's really easy.
Yeah. So do you ever regret not picking something up that you should have picked up?
Oh yeah, I run into that a lot. That's being a collector. You have like Tony said, you have to get something. Like if you want something, you have
immediately.
To get it.
Yeah. Especially nowadays with physical media. I don't know how your Best Buy looks, but every time I go into my Best Buy, the shelves are wiped out except for their display at the front.
Yep, for sure. It's definitely slimming down these days. Physical media. A lot of the stores are doing that, and like I think what really makes me happy is the exclusives, because I think the exclusives are what's keeping it alive, like the Steelbooks and like the Target exclusives. Because the fact that they sell out so fast is showing these companies that they're still a hot item and people will still buy them.
Right.
Those type of things are really keeping things alive, and I think 4K is keeping stuff alive too, because 4K is so popular, getting more and more popular. So like when it comes to exclusive Steelbooks and especially like slipcovers, yeah, you got to get them right away, otherwise you're going to miss out, and if you want them later, you're going to pay a ridiculous price.
Right. And plus, we were talking earlier about, the shipping. We buy from Amazon and they don't package it very well, so things come damaged. I'd rather be inside the store and pick out my slips, pick out my Steelbooks,
right,
making sure there's no damage before I purchase anything.
One of the biggest downfalls with everything that's going on these days is you can't be out in stores grabbing things. I mean, it's fun to begin with to go shopping in stores. It's obviously easier online, but like you said, then you run into things being damaged. And if you get a Steelbook from Best Buy that's an exclusive and it is damaged, you're probably not going to get a replacement because they're all gone.
Right, exactly. Yep. So that's why I have to purchase 2 or 3 of them. So usually if there's a Steelbook release that I really have to have, I go ahead and order 3 of them if I can afford it.
Yeah.
And then I'll open one and just keep my fingers crossed that it's not damaged. So people at Best Buy, they know who I am as soon as I walk in the door, because I'm always returning stuff.
Yep. That's a good idea. In Best Buy, I don't know how you pay, if you pay with card, like most people do anyways. But the thing that's good with Best Buy is that at least for me, when I do a refund, the money's in my account the next day.
Right.
Where most companies can take sometimes up to a week to get your money back. But yeah, if I return something at Best Buy, next day it's in my account, so it's really not that big of a deal to do that.
Yeah. So this Trey is asking about the Lion King remake. I did see the Lion King remake in the theater. I enjoyed it. To me, it was too similar to the animated, so I definitely 100% prefer the animated version over the remake. If they would have done something a little bit differently, like they did with Pete's Dragon.
The CGI, I mean, sometimes CGI can look not so good, but I think that looked amazing with Lion King. But I agree, they should have done something. They didn't have to make a huge big change, but some little changes here and there I think would have made it a little bit better.
Yeah. So anybody that's interested in getting an all region player, I do have a link in the description box below of the all region player that I got, which was a recommendation from Cartoon Fortress, and I really enjoy having it. and it really has opened up a lot for me to be able to purchase from
Sure.
from mostly the United Kingdom. I do like some of the titles that they have out there.
I think it's a good idea because, a lot of the times, you'll run into things where they're only available in other countries and they're not going to be available in the United States. Like, for example, their Studio Canal, I believe, is now releasing the new Bill and Ted movie on 4K, and we
Mhm.
still on 4K yet. So it's nice because sometimes other countries will be a little bit ahead of us with things.
So, J Movies and Media wants to know if we think Dewey was or should be the killer in the Scream sequel. To
uh,
me, it would be disappointing.
yeah, I agree. I mean, it would be interesting, but I don't think it would work. I mean, it's it's kind of like what Gail says in part two. Yeah, part two, where the killer Debbie Salt asked her, what about Dewey? That's kind of weird. He showed up back in town, and Gail's like, Dewey's a good guy, and so it's like, yeah, I can't really see that happening. I would see more Gail being a killer before Dewey, but yeah, I don't think that would ever happen.
So, 4K Media Guy has just started doing Blu-ray hunting. So you got videos of the Blu-ray hunting. So I definitely enjoy watching those. So I'll definitely be checking that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's everybody's favorite candy to eat while watching movies? So I do enjoy, which Cartoon Fortress does not like these, but I enjoy Twizzlers. I like eating Twizzlers when I'm watching movies.
What kind of Twizzlers? Like
Strawberry.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
My wife likes the like cherry nibs or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
The strawberry ones are so much better. Now,
Yeah.
you like red vines?
I've never had a red vine before.
They're a little bit different. They're I don't know. They're the same but different. I'm not a fan. Like I'm totally regular strawberry Twizzler kind of guy. But
Yeah.
I would say my favorite candy would probably have to be anything Reese's.
Yeah.
Reese's and Reese's cups. Yeah, all the way.
So an R-rated animated Wrinkle in Time remake would be terrible. Just the regular Wrinkle in Time was bad enough. I don't think I could handle any more of that.
Wow. Hey, is there any Disney out there? I mean, that's straight Walt Disney Presents movies that are R-rated.
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't think so. That
No.
would be that'd be funny.
Yeah. So somebody
Like
like
line of Disney movies R-rated.
yeah.
That's interesting.
So some people like Skittles. Some people like black licorice, which I do not like black licorice.
I do not either. Oh my god, don't. I
Yeah.
got some jelly belly jelly beans the other day, and they're the ones that are all mixed up, and you got to look at the back to match up the flavors. And I ended up running into a black licorice one, and I'm like, ugh, like I had to spit it out really quick.
Okay, let's see what we got going on in the chat. Is there any resale value on used physical media? From what I've seen, there's the only resale value I see on physical media is the ones that have really, the Screen Factory slips, rare slips, maybe some older, of course, all the out of print stuff. Now that's one thing I have been getting into is, as I had mentioned in my video this morning, that Shop Factory has been tweeting when their items are low in stock and are going out of print, and
Yep,
that's usually when I snag them up. So
that's
I've got a lot of those.
that's smart that you do that. I mean, who cares what it even is? Because
Right.
it's more or less like an investment, really.
Yeah,
You know
because if I watch it and I don't like it, then I could just sell it.
exactly. So that's a smart idea to do that. I wish I
Yeah.
should I that for a while. But yeah, I mean, as far as resale, Tony hit it right on the head. I mean, if it's going to be like something rare, exclusive wise, and it's funny because the most rarity, like what's really expensive with a lot of this stuff is the slipcovers. Like it's funny as stupid as that sounds, that's the truth. I mean, with these diehard collectors, the money is in the slips, believe it or not. That's where you like a Scream Factory, you could probably sell the movie for $10, But if you have the movie with the slipcover, you could sell it for who knows what, 50, 60, $70, because that's what collectors want.
Right. So, does anybody collect the MVD rewind collections? Do you collect these, Tommy?
Heck yeah, I got all 25.
Yep, this is the 25th one. So, I love these. I love anything that has these retro slips. So
Yeah.
you got them all with a slip cover?
Yep, every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of obscure titles in that because it's kind of all over the place. Like they don't stick to like one genre.
Right.
Everything, which is cool. But a funny story I'll tell you really quick about MVD is that I remember when they first came out, like I think it was like a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. Craig texted me one day and he's like, "Hey, this new company called MVD Rewind, and they're going to be putting out these like this whole new line. They're going to be numbered, and it's they got really cool looking retro slipcovers. We got to start collecting them. They just announced the first 3," and I'm like, cool. So we both started collecting them. He talked me into doing it. And then after about 7 or 8 were released, he's like, I don't want to collect these anymore. And he sold them all. And like, so he talks me into getting it. And I was hesitant at first, but then he talked me into it. And now I'm happy. I'm happy I got them all, but it was funny. Because no, I don't want to collect them anymore.
Yeah, one good thing about that line is that's the only way that you can have the Blu-ray. There's no other releases for these. So
Right.
if anybody's interested in getting a title that you can't get anywhere else, then that's definitely the way to go.
That's what I love about boutique labels, because most of the time it's first time to Blu-ray, and that's really the only way to get it.
Now, do you ever order any international steelbooks, like the Korean ones, the Japanese, anything like that? I know I don't.
The only one I have, and I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's Korean or Japanese or something, but that was I ordered it's a region free edition of my all-time favorite movie, The Wraith, because we haven't released it on Blu-ray in the US. So I got it through, I think it's a Japanese company, and it looks amazing. Like, it's one of the best Blu-ray transfers I've ever seen, but I had to get it through a different country because that was the only way to get that movie on Blu-ray, and being my favorite movie, I just went for it. But other than like UK and maybe Australia, I haven't really gotten anything else.
Now, you do collect Disney stuff, because I know me and you had that conversation about the Disney Movie Club exclusives and stuff. Do you have a pretty big Disney collection?
Yeah, it's huge. And I've done such extensive research on this, and I think I can almost guarantee that I have every single Disney movie ever released on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Every single one. Live action and animated. Come here, buddy.
Yeah, I think I'm 100% also now, especially thanks to you, since we had that discussion about a month or so ago about one title I thought I had in my collection, which I actually didn't have.
Where'd you end up getting it?
Off of eBay, real cheap.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the Boatniks.
It's funny. I mean, it's easy to miss something, and
yeah, definitely, especially if you have so many.
I know, right? But I think I have every single. I've done so much research on the internet, and I think I have every single Disney movie. Say hi. Every single Disney movie ever released on Blu-ray. I mean, it's crazy. You have to get a lot of really, stuff I would never watch, like Hannah Montana and stuff.
Oh yeah. So never mind. I'm not 100%. I do not have those.
Yeah, I got all that stuff. It's crazy. But
High School Musical.
It's okay for me because I got young kids in the house. Like, my wife's daughter loves that stuff, so it's okay. At least somebody gets to watch out of it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're definitely 100%. I'm not.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I definitely know that we were talking in your last live stream about those UK slipcovers of like the Rocketeer and stuff.
Yeah.
I seen one other one that you posted, or not posted, but like it was in that video that you sent me, that clip. I went and I watched it, and I see that Enchanted got one of those.
Yeah.
Because the US release of Enchanted never got a slipcover. So right away I went on eBay searching for it, and I cannot find it.
Those things are hard to find. So you were also mentioning the Wild.
Yeah, they did one. There's
The UK one?
a UK slipcover for that movie, and I came across it once on eBay. It was like $50, but I haven't been able to find it.
So I do have a connection in the UK. Movie collector geek right here that's on the screen. He lives in the UK. Too bad he doesn't ever help me out on some of these slips. Of course, I'm sure we have stuff here that he would like to have. Now, do you actually insure your collection?
I have rental insurance here, which, you know, I just basically have just one amount that, you know, everything in the house is basically insured with. So I mean, when you got a collection like this, it's like you have to. But what sucks about being a collector though is that even if you lost everything, you can't really get it back. You know what I mean? It's like
don't even think about that.
Yeah, I know. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, your couch burns up, you get a new couch, you know, but like when you're a collector, yeah, you're not going to get that stuff back. You know what I mean? It's not gonna...
The fire would just have to take me with it because there's no way.
I always tell Craig, I'm like, yeah, when I die one day, I'm being buried with all my Scream Factories.
Yeah.
They're all coming with me.
Thinking about that. So I do actually have two ways that I keep track of my collection. I use a program called DVD Profiler.
Okay.
And it has the dates and the purchase price and all the things that I've spent on.
Oh, well, that's a good idea.
So it's good. And then
that'd be crazy.
Right. But I know that there's people like Tom Cruise. He actually videotapes his collection once a year, kind of does an update for insurance purposes.
Good. That's
but
good.
He doesn't have as much as I've got, but you know.
Kept all the prices, and then I added up one day and I showed that number to my wife. She probably would kill me.
Yeah. Thing about it is my wife walks to the garage every day. She has to walk past all this stuff, and it's been a lot better since I don't have the Funko Pops out, because the Funko Pops were the biggest waste.
Yeah.
But it's even more wasteful because they're still back there, you know.
What is all that? Yeah, my wife, you know, she likes movies and stuff too, but for the most part, she just shakes her head at it, you know, and like she likes Steelbooks. She thinks Steelbooks are nice, but yeah, she just thinks I'm crazy, like everybody else.
Yeah.
Give Dad a kiss goodnight.
Give me a kiss goodnight.
No.
No, he's not giving me a kiss goodnight.
He's still saying no to bed.
Good night, buddy.
He didn't nap today.
No. Here.
Here, let's go upstairs.
No. So Brian Massey must have saw the same video that I saw where you were in concert. Was it like a fairground or something that you were singing?
Yeah, it's so that's what I do. Besides my other job, I also sing in a band. I've been doing that for like almost 20 years now. And
right.
During like the summer months, I do a lot of outdoor stuff, like just different outdoor events and things like that. And then obviously in the fall and spring and stuff, I do, you know, mostly just inside bars and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got a really good raspy voice. So Brian's asking if I can sing. I can barely talk, let alone try to sing, right?
Yeah, I sing a lot of different stuff. I mean, obviously rock and stuff is like my favorite, but yeah, I mean, I started singing as a little kid when I was like 8 years old, and you know, my dad was a singer, and you know, I would sing Christmas songs with him as a little kid, and it's just kind of stuck with me my whole life. And it's just one of my biggest passions, other than, you know, movies and stuff.
That's good. So, what year do you think Steelbooks started? I'm trying to remember. Do you kind of remember what your first Steelbook was that you purchased?
It's a good question. I think if I think about it really hard, I probably could think of it.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I do remember actually purchasing some Steelbooks from the UK, and of course I had someone from the UK that scammed me pretty bad. Several $100s worth of Steelbooks that I purchased that I never got.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he friended me. You know, he friended me through, I guess, Facebook or something, and talking about how he would like me to send him some things and that he would send me some steelbooks in return. So of course, as gullible and as nice of a guy as I am, I just took him at it. He sent me one little bitty thing, kind of like to test the waters to see if I would bite.
Mhm.
And so then I sent him his stuff,
Oh, geez.
and I never got my stuff. It was terrible.
Hey, when you're gonna run into that stuff, it's out there. It's sometimes it's almost unavoidable. I mean, obviously things like eBay and stuff like you'll be protected, but every now and then you're gonna have to take risks. That's just
Yeah.
the game. But
So I think the first steelbook I got was probably Batman, Batman Begins, maybe. Some of the older Warner Brothers titles,
sure,
just some of the earlier ones.
I think I've just been kind of sitting here thinking about it, and I'm almost positive that one of the first I got was obviously I got into collecting Blu-rays really big, probably in 2005. I mean 2015. Sorry,
Mhm.
really started getting into Blu-rays 2014, 2015. I think one of the first ones I bought was that Spaceballs one.
It's
Which
a nice one.
I love that one.
Yeah.
The first ones I picked up, definitely one of the first. But I think it was around that when they started. I think maybe 2013, maybe.
Well, I know that I started doing the YouTube videos in 2008,
Wow.
and I had already had some steelbooks by that time.
Okay, so I'm way off.
Yeah.
Because wasn't Blu-ray, like, when did Blu-rays officially start? Wasn't that around 2006, 2007?
Probably. Yeah.
Probably
I think.
sure Blu-rays came out then is when they started doing the steelbooks.
Yeah, I think the very first Blu-ray I ever bought was Twister, from Circuit City. I don't know. Do you remember Circuit City?
Yes, I do. Yeah, we had those
Yep.
here.
And I would pay, they were expensive. They were expensive. Just like when I started buying VHS tapes. VHS tapes were like $32
Isn't that
back
crazy?
in the back in the 80s. Yeah, it was terrible.
So you said Twister. That was the first Blu-ray you bought, or the first steelbook you bought?
First Blu-ray I bought was Twister.
Because I was going to say, is there a steelbook for Twister?
No, no,
I was like, wait a minute, did I miss out?
right? You're missing something, right? Now, have you ever had a steelbook rust? I've never had one to rust.
No, I haven't. That's a good question, though.
I think metal packs might rust, but I've never had a steelbook rust.
Yeah, I haven't either, thankfully. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I keep mine, and like I use the same type of bags you do for all my stuff, but my steelbooks, I buy those harder plastic ones.
Yeah,
I keep all the steelbooks in those. I mean, they're more expensive. They're like,
right.
which kind of sucks, but yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. They probably don't. Do you remember? Did you have any DVD steelbooks?
I did, yes.
That was funny.
I don't any longer though. I got rid of those. Now, if you thinking about rust, those to me seem like they would have rusted.
It's funny because I think like DVDs, it was kind of the same when it came to slipcovers and steelbooks. Like I think nobody cared about steelbooks and slipcovers with DVDs, or at least I didn't. It's
Mm-mm.
funny, like I never cared about slipcovers on DVDs. Like, in fact, they annoyed me back in the day. I'm like, oh, I hate when they put these on here, you know. and then when I started getting into Blu-rays, I looked at it probably the same as DVDs until one day it hit me, and then I just had to have them. But
Yeah.
it's funny to think back though, people really didn't make a big deal about steelbooks or slipcovers for DVDs.
Yeah. Now, have you ever gotten a bootleg slipcover before, where somebody had homemade one?
I think I might have a couple in my collection right now. I think there's a few Disney titles I ordered from eBay that are bootleg because they're a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really irritated me.
Yeah, I've got a few of those myself.
Yeah, I didn't notice that at first until I think like I did an unboxing video one day, and somebody somehow noticed through the video that it was a bootleg.
Yeah.
And I didn't even really know what a bootleg was at the time. And somebody told me, I'm like, what? I'm like, these could be fake. And then I started examining them, and I could tell, I'm like, oh my God, these are. They're not the same. Oh my God, that was annoying.
So do you think more people would collect movies if the prices were lower? To me, I think that the prices are pretty low as they are. If you're patient enough, the prices do get lower.
Yeah,
Um,
they're always going to start out higher. It's it's funny. Like you mentioned, VHS back in the day was like 32 bucks. Blu-rays were like 32 bucks. DVDs were, now 4Ks are. They're always going to start that way. And now, I mean, look at 4K. Look how fast 4K dipped. It's still the highest format, but I mean, I've found 4Ks for $5. You know what I mean? They're going to go down. I mean, everything goes down. And I think personally, they're I've never thought something was too expensive. I think everything is pretty reasonably priced.
yeah. So did you ever collect Laserdisc?
I myself never collected them. I remember them back in the day, though. There was this neighbor that lived next to us when I was about 6 or 7 years old, had a huge laserdisc collection, and it was something I obviously at the time there was only VHS, and then when I went over there, I was like, "What are these?"
Man, they're amazing looking, aren't they?
I know they look so futuristic, even to today's standards.
Yeah.
Look at those today; they look so futuristic. It's just crazy. But
Yeah, I think I was in the 7th grade and I went to a friend's house and we watched Flash Gordon on Laserdisc. And the picture quality was amazing.
I mean, like if you were to do you have any in your collection?
No, I don't even get me started on that. I have
Right.
no room, no room.
Yeah, no, that's so funny. It's like, no, I don't need another collection. I get it.
Yeah, there's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre steelbook type DVD size. You know what I'm talking about? It's got the gold and the black.
Yeah,
It's nice.
I had that. I should have kept it because it was like the only DVD steelbook I had. I should have kept it, but
I actually still have mine.
do you really?
Oh yeah, it's right over there.
What's funny is that you talk about regret and getting rid of things. Like
Yeah.
I got rid of a lot of my DVDs, obviously, when I went to Blu-ray, which I don't really care much about. Because if I'm upgrading, that's fine. But it's funny because back in the day when all there was VHS, just like everybody else, I had a big, huge collection of those, maybe 700, 800 VHSs back in the day. And then obviously when DVD came around, I started getting into them. Like everybody else, I got rid of all my VHS. But now these days, not crazy, but these days I've been slowly picking up a few VHSs of I found all the Friday the 13th films on VHS about a couple months ago. So they're cool display pieces, to put up on the shelf to kind of look back to like how you started things with
Right.
movies. And so I would say in my collection, I probably had maybe 40 VHSs, maybe 50.
Yeah.
But slowly kind of finding those here and there, just, putting together a small collection of them.
Oh, if you ever want any, I've got hundreds.
Do you?
Yes.
I should send you a list of the few that I'm looking for and see if you have any of them.
And the thing about it is they're still sealed up. They're brand new.
That's
Still have the price tags on them.
Some, believe it or not, some VHSs, especially if they're still sealed, they got some good value.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but there's some titles out there that got pretty good value.
Do you like digibooks?
Not so much. Not a huge digibook collector. I try to stick mostly to the Steelbooks, but I got the Disney digibooks, that they put out. I got every one of those. I mean, just the signature collection ones, from the signature collection releases of like Lion King and all them. But I hate how they switched over to the different ones. They went from like the actual book to like a pack, and just irritated me.
Yeah. Radford Ram says that you have a great personality.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I don't apparently, but you got a great personality.
No, thank you. You do too, Tony.
I know. I'm just teasing. So I'm trying to think. We were talking about slipcovers. Oh, so what I was thinking about is as far as steelbooks are concerned, aren't you a fan of the clear slips that go on top of the steelbooks? Almost like a layer of protection on them.
I see with me, I take them off. And the reason why I take them off is because I have those plastic covers anyway,
That's true. Yeah, they don't fit.
They don't fit in those if you
Yeah.
keep. So, I mean, I like them. And honestly, if all steelbooks came that way, I think it would be kind of nice. But since I have those plastic covers, I really don't care. I just take them off and I put them in the plastic covers. I keep them. I have them all boxed away, but I just, the only ones I kept on were the Universal Monster ones.
Oh yeah.
Because, they obviously have the title and they look a lot nicer altogether. So I kept those on the Universal Monster ones, but that's it. Everything else I take off.
Yeah. Now, did you ever get the well, if you give me just a second, I want to show you something real quick, okay? So I'm kind of curious. Did you ever get these steelbooks?
I did, and I'm kind of, I like them. At first I was a little like it's weird. They're like a in style,
right?
But eventually I like them because there's a lot of titles in there that we never had a steelbook for.
Right.
Like Jeepers Creepers and things like that. So that was cool. And I'm kind of kicking myself for it because how many did they release? It was like 26 or something like that?
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It took me 2 trips to get them all.
Me too. But I didn't get every one of them. Like at first I only picked out like my favorites and I had like 8 or something like that. And then I went back and got a couple more and then I went back and got a couple more. And then eventually in the end, I only ended up picking up like all but like 4. And why I did that, because I could have easily grabbed them. They were really cheap. Yeah. Why I didn't just get the last 4, I have no idea. It was just a really stupid move on my part. But I ended up getting almost every single one. The 4 that I didn't get were just movies I didn't care about. Mm-hmm. But still, for a collection purpose, I should have gotten them all. Yep. I got
the remake, the garbage remake. I mean,
I couldn't have been an original one, right?
Right. Yeah. Do you know, I went and saw the remake in the theater. I was the only one in the whole theater that was even watching that movie. And then when it was over with, I could understand why.
That's so funny.
Yeah. There's been several movies where I've been the only one watching the whole movie. But I do kind of miss going to the theater. Did you like going to the movie theaters?
God, yeah, I miss it like crazy. They reopened a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Went and saw Bill and Ted with my brother.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and I got to see that. And I mean, it's a little bit different of an experience. Obviously, you had to walk around with the mask on, but you got to take it off when you got in the theater. They only sold half capacity, which, I mean, whatever, is fine. It's just less people, not as crowded. But it was just cool being back in there. And then right away when things started spiking again, they all closed again, and
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that, I mean, eventually, it'll hopefully get back to the point where everything reopens and stays open and everything. But I think either way, like everything else, I don't think it'll ever really be the same. And I don't think a lot of the theaters are going to last and make it to reopen. But I know eventually they'll all open back up, but I miss it. I miss it a lot.
Yeah. Now, are you excited about Matrix 4 coming out?
Yeah. Never been a huge fan of the Matrix movies. Like, I love the first one. The sequels are okay, but not a huge Matrix fan.
Yep, new Top Gun. I'm excited about Top Gun. I think Top Gun's my wife's favorite movie. She definitely loves the soundtrack, and she's a big Tom Cruise fan.
I saw Top Gun.
So what do you think about? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What did you think about the whole Tom Cruise rant? Did you hear that?
I've heard people talking about it.
Yeah.
A little bit here and there. What I heard is just crazy. I don't know.
Do you think it was staged? Some people were saying it was staged.
I wouldn't doubt it. You know, I mean, the stuff you see, who knows, you know? Like, do you ever remember a while ago that whole Joaquin Phoenix thing on David Letterman?
No, I never did hear about that.
Went on David Letterman and was just acting so weird and nobody knew what was going on. And he just was acting just so different and quiet and just nobody understood. Even David Letterman didn't know what was going on. And then I guess it all ended up being a publicity stunt for a movie he was doing. But I don't know. It's just, you never know when they do things like that. You know, it could just be staged, you know, who knows?
Yeah. So do you collect the Blu-rays that have just the card stock on the front? Kind of like what these were. You know, Walmart had a big line of these that were just the card stock.
Yep. You know what made me mad is that when they put those out first, the J card things, of those particular ones, one of the titles that they had was Joyride. And when they did the steelbooks, they never did a steelbook for Joyride. And I was so mad because that's like one of my favorite horror movies. And I was like, why can't we get a Joyride steelbook like you did for the J cards? But yeah, I hate those J card things.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah, I mean, if you're going to spend that kind of money on the J card, might as well just make a slip, right? Because I know Target had recently done the postcard cards that went in front of you know, I don't know if you saw those or not, but they would have been a beautiful slipcover if they would have just done a slip.
Yeah,
and they would have sold every one of them because I would have bought all of them.
Yeah, you're talking about the ones from like a couple months ago at Target.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost bought the It one.
Yeah.
Like, you know, remember when they started putting out those ones at Walmart, the Mill Creek VHS retro slips?
Yep.
They had a lot of those too. It was like,
yeah.
Did you buy any of those?
I just bought the slips. I did not buy any that had the cards.
Yeah, I didn't either. I hate them. I don't like the J card things. You know, because they don't even really stay on. You know what I mean? Like they're just held.
Unless you put them in the, you know, you can slide them inside the front cover.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still not the same.
Yeah, it's not. You know what's funny is do you know who Friday the 14th is?
Yes.
Okay. You know what he does? It's so funny. He'll take movies that you only get a slipcover for the DVD, and he'll like make his own Blu-ray slipcover with a DVD slipcover.
I've been very tempted to do that.
I know. I thought about it in the past, but I didn't know if it would work. And then I noticed that he was doing it, and he does a really good job. It actually looks legit. So I was like, I was thinking, I should try that sometime.
Yeah, you know, I've measured some before because I really seriously tried to do that before, and it messes up the back. You know, the credits and stuff that are on the back, and it, to me, my OCD just couldn't handle having it messed up.
I think I told you about this. I recently ordered a custom slipcover from that one friend.
Oh, did you?
It's the only one I have, and it's I got it for the 4K German edition of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, it looks nice. It's kind of flimsy because I think they're using like some kind of a thick photo paper that they're printing them on. So they're really glossy and they kind of feel like that, almost like that slight sticky picture feeling.
Oh yeah.
So, but I mean, you put it in the Blu-ray bag and you put it up on the shelf. It looks really nice, but it kind of feels different.
Did you see this one?
Yeah, they released it with a different slip.
Yeah, and of course it looks great, you know, but it was like 20. It's like $20.
Really?
Yeah, which is kind of aggravating, but of course I bought it.
It's funny how they re-released that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
You know what I mean? Like they didn't put out like another 4K with that cover.
Right. They didn't.
I mean, it's such a new movie. It's like, why did they re-release that so quick? It's weird.
Cash grab, because I guess there weren't any new releases, you know.
Yeah.
Did you like these with the lenticular slips?
Yep, I just got that. It's funny how that came in like a thicker slip.
Yeah, it's weird.
Have you been collecting all the other Blue Underground 4Ks?
Yep.
Yeah,
do you got them all?
I don't have everyone. There's a couple I didn't get. Actually, I think the only one I haven't gotten so far is that the dark. What was it? Dark Girls or something. What was it called?
So you got the three ladies on the front of it.
Dark Daughters of Darkness or something.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
Yeah, that's the only one I haven't gotten yet.
They're expensive.
That's the thing. They're like $40 some. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I've been getting them all. I got I think there's 6 out now or something. And so, yeah, I don't
And now
understand.
Kino Lorber is actually releasing a lot, like we had discussed.
Yep. Yep. Which is
Killing
awesome.
us. Yeah.
All this new slipcovers. I can't, I keep talking about this, but I'm just so excited for Spaceballs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Can't
But
wait.
the steelbook, you said you had the Spaceball steelbook. That's the one that has a really colorful
Yep.
image on the front. Yeah, that's a nice one.
That's one of the best. It's I think that I really like it when steelbooks are like that, when they do
Oh yeah.
the new art, and when they just slap something plain on there, it's kind of boring. But I think steelbooks are such a specialty item to me that when they do art like that, I think that's what they deserve to have.
Yeah. So what are you drinking? You're drinking Blue Mountain Dew?
Blue Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Frostbite.
Oh, that's one we haven't tried that one yet.
It's pretty good.
I'm a big Mountain Dew fan, just the regular green Mountain Dew.
Whatever happened to Pitch Black? Do you still have Pitch Black where you live?
No, we don't have it.
I don't
We have
understand.
Code Red. I get Code Red.
Code Red.
And regular Mountain Dew is all we have now.
Because Pitch Black it's always it's my favorite one, and it used to come out once a year or once every couple of years, and it would go away.
Yeah.
But a couple of years ago, it won this contest. It was up against I think Baja Blast or one other one that whoever won, the winner became a permanent flavor.
Oh.
And Pitch Black won, and so it was supposed to be around permanently, and it was around for a couple of years, and now it's gone. And it's like the grape flavored one.
Right.
It was always my favorite, but now you can't find it anymore.
Yeah, it's got to be mysterious, like the McRib sandwich, I guess. Cartoon Fortress says his favorite steelbook is the Grindhouse steelbook. Do you have that one? Do you actually have the Grindhouse release that has the black slip on it?
Is that the one that has the 2 movies?
Yeah.
No, I don't have that. I only have the what was it? I bought what's it called? I'll have to look at it when you show me.
I keep forgetting I have to have these earbuds in.
Yeah, what are the 2 movies on there?
It's a good question.
Oh,
you're gonna make me open it up, aren't you?
Oh no, oh no.
Planet Terror and let's see, Cartoon Fortress. Cartoon Fortress, do you know what the 2 movies are? Planet Terror
and oh my god, it's on the tip of the tongue.
Death Proof.
There you go. God, I could not think of that. So
yeah,
I bought Death Proof because Craig says it's basically like a horror slasher movie.
Oh, so it's you seen it?
I haven't. It's like sitting next to my TV, and I keep trying to watch it every single night, but I just don't get around to it because I always end up watching Christmas stuff. But it's supposed to be like a horror slasher. Kurt Russell kills people with his car.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so you see?
Yeah, you like Tarantino films?
I'm not really.
Really?
I'm not a Tarantino fan, but Craig says I'll love that one. That's why I just bought the individual Blu-ray of that one.
Yeah, Kill Bill. I love the Kill Bill movies.
So does my wife. I've never seen them, but she loves them.
Oh man, it's nonstop action. You've got to watch them.
That's what I hear. I mean, I haven't seen a lot. I've seen Pulp Fiction, obviously. I love that movie. I've seen the Inglourious Bastards, and then I think
Hateful Eight.
No, I've never seen Hateful Eight. Is that good?
Oh yeah, I like Western type movies.
I heard that was cool. It's got a really cool twist or something at the end, I think.
Yeah. Now, does Craig plan on coming to visit you again anytime soon? Another out and about and road trip type visit?
What we're trying to do, he's come here towards the end of summer for the last 2 years. Like he came here this year in August. He came here last year in August. And I think he's going to continue to do that once a year. And then I go back to see him. I'm going to travel to back to Pennsylvania in, I think it's April or May of next year during this convention that's going on. So
Okay.
try to, you know, visit each other like at least once a year a piece, you know?
Yeah. So
So-
we were just talking about the McRib sandwich, and now here's Eli McRibs in the chat with us. So what's your favorite Steelbook that you have in your collection?
That's a good question.
You know, I was really excited about the Pixar ones that Best Buy was doing, and then they just ended up being so mass produced
Right.
that I'm not even a fan of them anymore. You know, they just kind of,
Had big plans for those. That's why they made so many.
man,
Did you notice how many like times they went down to like $8 a
yeah,
piece?
which is aggravate bro, those of us that paid $34 for them.
Oh my God. But I mean, you know, you're not, how do you know that, you know, when they first come
Yeah,
out?
you don't know. You think they'd sell out because, you know, I still have some original Pixar movies that they released at Best Buy many, many, many years ago. Those are probably some of the first Steelbooks I got, and they're worth a lot of money now, but they were limited, you know?
Yep.
Yeah,
Did you end up
yeah.
Pixar ones though that they released?
Say what?
Did you end up getting all the new Pixar ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. I only picked up the Toy Story ones. That's the
You
only
know, I
ones.
wasn't crazy about the way I wasn't really crazy about the art that they did on those. They're real plain.
They are. Toy Story is probably my favorite when it comes to Pixar. So I don't really collect a lot of Disney Steelbooks because it's just like I feel like it's a can of worms I just do not want to open up, you
Mhm.
know. But I got those because they were my favorite. So, but my favorite. I mean, last year, the year before, I probably could have answered that question really quick. Spaceballs was probably one of my favorites, but I have so many now. It's so hard to tell. I have a
Yeah.
couple really nice It Steelbooks. So you know, maybe one of them.
Did you ever get any of the It Funko Pops?
It's funny that you ask. I have to show you this
Okay.
because you asked. You're gonna laugh. Okay, you ready for this?
Oh yes.
I have every single
Yes.
one they've
Me-
ever released.
Me too. It's different eye colors and everything.
Every single exclusive they ever put out.
Yep,
I
that's
have.
amazing. So now that's the good part of collecting those is when you actually focus on a certain collection.
Yep, I'm trying to just do all the horror. Like as you can see, I got like almost every horror pop they've ever put out.
Yep. Eli McRib says he's going to be subbing you. He likes your room. You definitely got to get you a room tour going.
Yes. Oh, I've had so many people asking for it, and I just, yeah, I'm gonna try to do it soon.
So somebody was asking, who's got the bigger collection? So I don't know. Who do you think has the biggest collection? I'm sure you got. Huh?
I think you told me, or you mentioned it to somebody. I think in one of your live chats, they asked you how many you had, and I don't remember what it was, but all I know is a lot bigger of a number than mine.
Let's see. Yeah, it's huge, but there's a lot of duplicates, you know.
Right.
I got
So-
5,831 Blu-rays.
Is that counting duplicates?
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
And you know me, I've got duplicates of a lot of stuff. But still, it doesn't matter. It's just the joy of collecting.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
have I'm probably down to about 200 and something DVDs. I mainly just have like what I have left on DVD is pretty much just stuff they don't have on Blu-ray. Because yeah, as soon as something upgrades to Blu-ray from DVD, I get rid of it. I don't care. But if you don't count DVDs, 4K, I probably have a couple hundred 4K, and then I probably have maybe 2,400 Blu-rays.
That's good.
So
Now your most prized
28.
collection would be the Scream Factory stuff.
Oh yeah, like this shelf, or I'm backwards here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. This is like my whole boutique label. Everything Scream Factory, Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, all that stuff. That's fun.
Has your Vinegar Syndrome shipped?
Yes, thank God. Finally, it should be here. I think Sunday.
Yeah, mine too.
How many?
Did you? I want to say I got maybe 5.
I think I got 6.
6. Did you get the little ViewMaster thing?
No, I thought about it. It was cool.
Me too. I thought, nah, I don't need that.
Right.
And if you look at it, it looked really, really tiny. It looked like it was going to be tiny.
Yeah, yeah. I like those. What were they? They were like little tiny like movies.
Yeah.
Or like little movies or something of the cover art. They had those, I think, a couple months ago, and they look cool, but I didn't grab them.
Yeah, okay, we're talking about regrets. I actually had the lenticular Jack Frost edition direct from Vinegar Syndrome. I didn't buy it secondhand or anything.
Yep.
And I watched the movie one time, and I'm thinking, man, I don't want to watch this movie again. And I sold it. But now after 2 years, I guess it's been.
Yep.
The movie wasn't that bad.
It's so funny with Vinegar Syndrome because 95% of their stuff is so bad. Like when it's titles, it's really odd, obscure stuff. Really bad movies. I mean, there's a few good hidden gems in there, but really bad movies. But I collect them. Like I have a huge collection now of Vinegar Syndrome. I just love their, I guess you could say, the love they put into their releases. Like beautiful slipcovers, by far the best slipcovers on the market, in my opinion. Beautiful slipcovers, awesome art. So I think it's a beautiful collection to get into. If you're not 100% focused on the movie itself, but you just like it as a collection, you know, I mean, it's not, I mean, I don't necessarily say they're bad movies. It's good cheese, good fun, you know, but
obscure movies.
Right. It's just insane though, like the value of Vinegar Syndrome, like with their slipcovers, it is just insane. Like some of the titles I have are like $150 with a slipcover. You know, like I have Jack Frost, that's super expensive. Like, remember when did you get Rad when Rad came out on 4K?
I missed it.
Oh my God.
Cartoon Fortress got it.
I have it too. And isn't that just ridiculous when you look at the prices on those things right now?
Did you know that Mill Creek's putting out the steelbook for that?
Yes, I seen that.
Not a 4K, but just a regular steelbook.
Did you see the other titles they announced?
Yeah, man, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's the Stopper My Mom Will Shoot.
Yep, I love that movie.
What was it? The Gold Diggers, the girl from.
You know what I would really like to see is I would love to see Rhinestone on Blu-ray. You ever seen Rhinestone before?
Dolly Parton?
Man, yes, I would love that.
One of the few Stallone movies that aren't on Blu-ray yet.
Right.
Yeah, cool movie. I watched it. My dad, I remember my dad had that recorded on VHS back in the day.
Yep, I saw it in the theater. I remember. So, what are your thoughts about Stinky Tuna? Now, have you purchased a lot from Stinky Tuna before?
Lately, I've been getting a lot of stuff from them, and it's weird because I look at Stinky Tuna as they're kind of in between when it comes to legit releases and bootlegs.
Right.
They're kind of right in the middle there, you know. I mean, they're a legit company, and I used to think how do they get away with this? I used to think, how do they get away with selling this stuff? But I read into it on their website. You can read about
I did too,
and all that stuff. And apparently, it's legal what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I love them because it's a good way to get stuff that, me being a person that I'm not a big streamer, I'm not a big Netflix person. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll watch stuff on there sometime, but I'm not a big streamer yet. I'm a physical media guy, always will be, and it's a great way to get physical copies of this Netflix stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I love it, and and every now and then they throw out your, a standard catalog title, something like What About Bob,
Right.
True Lies, stuff that haven't made its way to Blu-ray yet. So
Yeah.
great pieces. The transfers look great. I think they're a really good company, and I could totally see them turning into a legit boutique company one day.
Yeah, and they're very inexpensive.
Yep.
Yep, and if you ever just search, you can always find a discount, at least a 10% off discount code.
Yeah, I went in there one day and I put a few things in my cart, and then I left.
Yep.
And then a half hour later, I get an email. Hey, you forgot something in your cart. Go back there and we'll add 15% off right now or something.
Yep, that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any 3D movies in your collection?
I have a couple, probably just because I bought it just to get the cool slipcover or cool edition of it. But I never really got into 3D stuff much. In the format to itself kind of died out. Like they tried it, never really took off. I think they're just too much involved with it. But especially like wearing glasses, it's so hard to do the 3D thing.
Right, with your glasses.
Yeah.
I actually have the 3D TV upstairs and all that. But we got it back when they first came out, and it's beautiful the way it works. It looks really amazing. But
It looks really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's the movie that you have the most duplicates of in your collection?
Definitely It. All the It movies.
It. Mine's a little bit tougher. I'm not really sure. I want to say that it's probably Batman, The Dark Knight, maybe. Pretty in Pink. I've got a lot of Pretty in Pink.
I would say the one that takes a
The
cake
Breakfast Club.
Deadpool. I have so many copies of Deadpool. It's not even funny.
Hey, did you ever get all the Deadpool photobomb slips?
Yep. And you know what I did? I got rid of all the movies. I sold all the movies.
Yeah. See, now I was doing the opposite. I was getting the slips, and I forgot exactly how it worked. Anyways, whenever I have a slip with no movie in it, I always have to buy a brand new movie to go with it. I was just buying the Blu-ray cases just to put them on the shelf, just empty Blu-ray cases. And then there was a time where I was buying the movies to go with it. So I'm 100% now. Everything that has a slip has the movie.
Right. The photobomb slipcovers are the only ones I didn't care about getting rid of the movies. I just wanted the slipcovers. Otherwise, the same thing. If I'm double dipping, I'm keeping the movies. Like, here, I was going to show you this. So I got this It.
Mm-hmm.
I got this It.
Yeah.
I got part 1 4K, part 1 lenticular target, this slip, this slip, chapter 2, and then part 1 and 2. And that's not even the Steelbooks. I got like probably 10 Steelbooks.
Yep, I got all those too.
It's just, I just love it. I'm just a huge fan of it.
I love the first one, but the second one just seemed kind of off to me. I don't know.
I think the second one was just too long. It was
too long.
They could have trimmed that down and it would have been so much better.
Yeah, it was too much.
I was a little disappointed with that one. I mean, I think they just had too much going on.
Well, it looks like you're getting some new subscribers from this chat tonight, which is always nice, isn't it?
Fantastic.
Yep, people like you. That's good.
I really appreciate that. I really do. I'll have to have you join sometime on my channel.
Oh yeah, definitely. So right. So what kind of do you have? Like any kind of special sound bar on your TV? Do you have like a nice TV setup?
I have a decent setup. You know, I got a LG 4K TV and player. Before this house, I've always lived in apartments and townhomes and stuff, so I was never able to get into that because of the sound. But when we moved into this house, I talked about getting it, and then I never did. And then And then I was like, well, I should probably get it now. And then that's when my wife and I had our son. And then I'm like, well, when the nighttime comes and I'm going to want to watch these movies, I can't even turn it up anyways because he'll be sleeping. I'm like, so I never got into the soundbar thing.
Yeah. So, talking about Fast and Furious, I do have a lot of Fast and the Furious in the collection.
I bet.
That's probably one of those that I've got a lot of. Steelbooks and regular, they did all those different slips for Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice.
I want to get all the 4K slips. I have the Blu-ray tire set that they put out, where it's like on a tire, so that's all I have for those movies, but I definitely want to get all of them on individual slips from 4K.
Yeah. Now, have you been getting the NECA figures from from Screen Factory? Have you been getting those special editions?
They are right there, every single one of them.
So, are you excited about the Minor figure coming out?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
I already ordered. I'm so excited for it. That was one that Craig and I had been hoping for and predicting we'd get someday. And when they released their My Bloody Valentine collector edition with the alternate slipcover, I thought for sure that they'd do a figure for it. But now they did with the Steelbook, so that's cool.
Yeah. So is there a company who released a big set of movies like 100 to 200 on Blu-ray, like Mill Creek did with the drive-in cinema set? I'm not familiar. Not that I know of. Yeah, I don't know of any big releases like that. I know that I can generally just think about have you seen the best of the 90s, the 80s, the 70s in your Target store?
Yep.
They have about, I want to say about 8 to 10 movies on them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think Nightmare on Elm Street will be the next big Scream Factory release like they did with the Friday the 13th and the Halloween sets?
Boy, I cannot talk about that enough, man, because even though absolutely love the Friday the 13th box set, I'm so happy they put that out, because even though the 10 set was cool, this new set obviously is beautiful. And I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan. It's my all-time favorite horror franchise. So cannot talk highly enough of that set, but we all know as horror collectors, for some reason, obviously, you'd have to agree Freddy and Jason are probably the two top horror icons. And why Nightmare on Elm Street is the only franchise that hasn't gotten a
big treatment. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why? Why do we have just that little crappy set, and why has Nightmare on Elm Street not got something like that?
Yeah. I mean, the DVD set that they did for Nightmare on Elm Street was really good.
Yeah,
that was the last good release.
Yeah.
Do you watch Christian Hannah horror?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I've been hooked on his channel lately. His recommendations, must-haves for your collection, and yeah.
I can almost guarantee they'll do it, because what are they? They're mostly what is it? I'm trying to think. Who's New Line? Yeah, I think they. Scream Factory has a deal right now with that company, so I think they can do it. But it feels like, I don't know, I think like the Friday the 13th set, like unless it's just related to COVID, 100%. But like, it feels like ever since they released that set, I think they put so much time, money, and effort into the Friday the 13th box set that they've barely been announcing anything these days.
Right. Yeah, because just the whole replacement disc fiasco.
Yeah, that was annoying.
I think they'll do something big. Hopefully they'll do something big. They're real good about keeping it secret.
Yeah. And the Friday the 13th set did so well, and so many people are requesting Nightmare on Elm Street. I really think it's going to happen next year. I hope it does.
So it is 9:49. I think we'll go up until about 10 o'clock if you're good with that. Are you okay going about 10 more minutes? And we'll answer some more of these questions. What's your thoughts about Disney not releasing some catalog, the catalog titles on physical media?
It's annoying.
It is annoying.
And I think it's obviously, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why these days. I think Disney Plus, ever since they launched that really put a dent on things, because they've been really focusing a lot on that, and it's doing really well. So, and then, obviously, with everything else that's going on, could play a factor in it as well. But it's a bummer because there's a lot of stuff out there that we haven't gotten yet that I was always hoping we'd get. Like, just like you, I was a huge fan of the Disney Movie Club stuff. And there's so many other titles like Blank Check, Homeward Bound. Like, there's some titles out there I was hoping would get a Disney Movie Club exclusive. And now I just think it's kind of been put kind of on the back burner right now while they focus on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, you've been a big hit on the stream. This has been Raptor Ram says this is my all-time greatest and most entertaining live stream because you were here with me.
That's awesome.
That's good. If I'm not mistaken, I think Raptor Rams is the one that requested that you join me in the live stream. Raptor
really?
Ram, if I'm not mistaken, aren't you the one that asked me about that?
I really appreciate it, guys, and appreciate the kind words. This has been a blast, and I'm up for this anytime, Tony.
Yeah, we'll have to see how things go. I know with the holidays and stuff, it might be a little bit crazy.
Right.
But it's 100% a lot easier doing this with other people than it is trying to do it by myself. Because I'm not as energetic by myself. I'm just trying. My brain's always trying to think, okay, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? So this collaborating together, that always makes it a little bit easier.
The few that I did by myself, it's fun. It was a lot of fun to interact more with my subscribers. But it is kind of weird when you're kind of sitting there by yourself, just going through and just reading things over and over and over. And, and I think it makes a better discussion when you got two people going back and forth with each other.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody joining us in the live stream. Definitely check out Tommy Starr's channel. I've got it listed down below. If you're not already subscribed to him, definitely check his channel out. He does some great unboxings pretty much weekly.
Pretty much, I try.
Yeah, usually you see his little one in his lap sometimes, and
he likes to join.
He stays pretty busy. And I did not realize that you work from home, that must be pretty nice.
Oh, it's great. It's definitely been a blessing. It looks like it's still going to continue to go on for a while, and my company might even try to make it a permanent thing for my department, which would be amazing. So yeah, it's been great. Jess and I both, like I said, we both not only work for the same company, but we are also on the same team.
Yeah. So you both work at home?
Yep.
And you haven't killed each other yet?
You say that because we started where we were both working in our bedroom. Like we had a desk on either corner of the room. And I wouldn't necessarily say like fighting, but we definitely were bickering and it was hard to focus. So she decided to come downstairs and I'm still upstairs. So,
so I've been married for 30 years now.
Wow, congratulations.
And so my wife, she could care less about any of this stuff. So it's always nice to have somebody to talk to about collecting. A lot of people like to talk about movies, and I enjoy movies. That's why I collect. But it is also about the aspect of collecting, which is different than just the movies themselves.
Right. I mean,
so it's always good to find a fellow collector.
It is. I 100% agree with that. And it's like, because like my, not only just my wife, but like my family in general, my brothers and my sister, and like my mom and stepdad, like, this collection of mine is just old news to them, and they could care less about it. They just know I have it and they think it's great, but they don't really care. They don't, they're not into that kind of stuff like I am. So joining up on YouTube, a few years back was great because I get to meet people like you. I get to talk about the stuff with people that are interested, other collectors. I get to see their collection. And it just, it just made me just appreciate more what I have to share it with a lot of other people, So that's what I love about YouTube, man. It's just, that's why I do it.
Yep. So we're gonna end with this one final question. Is there a favorite guilty pleasure movie that you're not embarrassed to admit? So what would be a movie that you have in your collection that you enjoy that maybe most people would not enjoy? To me, I think about and this is not my guilty pleasure because I've never seen them, but like me saying that I like the Twilight movies, something to that effect, I would assume is what that question's about. Do you have anything that you would care to admit?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, it would definitely be it's a pretty popular movie, but I would just say for somebody like me, I would say probably like Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing, yeah, that's a good one. Because
Well,
I grew up in the '80s,
yep,
and a lot of those movies, The Breakfast Club, of course, that's a good movie. But you think there are some movies that are more geared toward women, but
right.
they're still enjoyable. Now, I've never seen the Twilight movies, and I've never seen what are those that came out recently? 50 Shades, something
It's
like that. I've never
yeah,
seen any of those, but I'm sure there's stuff in my collection that would be embarrassing to admit. But off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything.
I agree. I can't really think. I'm sure there's something out there that I'm missing, not thinking of right now that would probably be great to bring up. But the only
Yeah.
ones that come to mind would probably be like Dirty Dancing or Grease. Like
Grease, yeah, Grease is good.
I love those movies, and
Yeah.
yeah, Jess does too.
Well, thanks again for joining us. I will be back on the week after next. I'm not going to try to do anything on Christmas Day because that'd be kind of crazy.
Right.
But we really do appreciate everybody joining us. Remember to subscribe to Tommy Starr if you haven't, and we will see you next time. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, everybody.